Tonight on Newswatch,
Any amount of time spent on the cold, you're at risk for hypothermia.
how you can stay warm as temperatures dip.
Plus, John Husted replaces J.D. Vance in the U.S. Senate.
And in sports, Ohio men's basketball looks to bounce back. Newswatch starts right now. Southeast Ohio is in for another round of bone-chilling temperatures. Good evening. Welcome to Newswatch. I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Sullivan Beach. Our weather forecaster Isabel Isco is here in the studio with the latest on a national weather advisory in place. Isabel, how much longer is it going to be this cold?
You know, we're under that winter weather advisory tonight, and it is just going to continue to be this cold until we make it past tomorrow. So currently out there, we are seeing those temperatures well below average for a lot of the United States. Chicago currently at 1 degree. As we make our way closer to Athens, we're seeing those temperatures currently 16. But that is easily fooled because we are seeing those wind chills currently in Athens of -2. And as we make our way closer to Columbus, those are in the negative double digits. Once we're seeing those temperatures start to cool down even more for tonight, we'll be under this extreme cold warning for tonight at 7 p.m. until tomorrow at 10 a.m. A lot of schools are already canceling for tomorrow, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. Once we make it past tomorrow with these partly sunny skies and that high of 19, we'll be starting to warm up. So once we get past these next couple of days, we'll be warming up, and I'll be talking about that in my full forecast. But here's Reese with some tips on how to stay warm in these freezing temperatures.
Thank you, Isabel. As the region bears below freezing temperatures, it is crucial to stay warm and safe at home or on the go. AEP Ohio recommends customers to use energy wisely. Never use an oven or gas stove to heat your home. Plug heaters directly into an outlet without a damaged cord and turn off space heaters when left unoccupied in a room or asleep. Cleveland Clinic emergency medicine doctor Andrew Hill says dressing properly when you leave the house is critical.
It's one thing to have cold weather, an entirely different thing to have rain, snow that melts on your clothes, and especially to be in the wind. Those are just going to drop your core body temperature really quickly.
Dr. Hill says if you are experiencing frostbite, head inside and soak the areas in warm water.
Ohio Lieutenant Governor John Husted takes on a new role in the U.S. Senate. He is now replacing former Senator and now Vice President J.D. Vance's seat. Governor DeWine made the appointment on Friday and is yet to announce who will fill the Lieutenant Governor's vacant seat. And tonight we learned that Trimble School District is now under a fiscal watch designation. State auditor previously put Trimble under a fiscal caution after their budget revealed a $1.6 million deficit in December. According to the auditor, the deficit is projected to double in 2 years if nothing changes. A fiscal watch means Trimble must submit a plan to fix the situation in 60 days. Trimble Treasurer Ashley Miller says the school district needs state assistance to solve the problem. She expects the state to declare a fiscal emergency soon, at which point the district can receive solvency assistance.
Officials in Nelsonville are at risk of shelling out a lot of money if they fail to meet key election deadline. Nelsonville voters are set to choose candidates for a new city council in a few months, but only 3 of the 7 seats may be on the ballot. The remaining 4 seats will represent wards, but the city doesn't have wards. Under the city charter from 30 years ago that created the government the city has now, wards were abolished and all council members were made at-large positions. If the city fails to create wards, then it might have to call for a special election to choose the other 4 council members, and this could lose a lot of money for the city. The city has 2 weeks to avoid this scenario. We are learning more about November's cyber attack on the city of Athens. According to new court filings, a portion of the money in a fake bank account used by scammers has been recovered. The scammers allegedly stole around $722,000 from the city by pretending to be a contractor who worked with the city on multiple projects. Court documents say almost $350,000 were recovered and has been moved to a new secure account controlled by Republican Bank. In a motion filed by the bank, the account was also used to scam Regency Centers, a real estate developer. This money is now at the center of a legal battle over whose money is whose. Republic Bank, is now asking the judge to decide how the money will be split.
An ordinance that would upgrade 3 bridges in Athens is set to have its first reading in City Council tonight. The ordinance includes 2 different projects. One would do a full rehabilitation of the Stimson Avenue Bridge. The nearly $4.5 million project will replace the deck, approach slabs, guardrail, abutments, and substructure. It would also add new lighting and a pedestrian path across the bridge. Businessmen along Stimson Avenue say they are concerned about how the construction on the bridge could impact traffic on the road. Mayor Steve Patterson says the city has learned from previous projects to avoid interruptions for businesses.
There will still be east and west traffic moving through that corridor, unlike some of the interruptions that we experienced during the previous Stimson Avenue corridor project.
The council will also look at a project to improve the Richland Avenue Bridge and the Shrods Run Drive Bridge over US 33. Patterson says the original epoxy paint on the Richland Bridge did not cure properly and needs replacing. As for the bridge over US 33, Patterson says he wants to make the bridge safer and look nicer. The city plans to begin work on all 3 bridges this year, and it should be completed in 2026. WOUB will have all the details from tonight's City Council on air and online. You can also find the latest news anytime on our website, woub.org, or on the WOUB app.
A former River Valley High School teacher is going to prison for sexually abusing children. The Gallia County Sheriff's Office says Matthew Huck and his wife have been abusing high school students for over 10 years. Huck, who was school's wrestling coach, would pressure students on the team to have sex with his wife. She is currently serving time for her role in the crimes. After his 6 years in prison, Matthew Huck will have to register as a sex offender for 25 years. Athens businesses are set to host a town hall to air the grievances with the city. Organizers say this comes after multiple businesses raised similar issues surrounding construction projects in the city. One organizer says her business and a number of others are suffering losses because of construction at the nearby Lostro building blocking the sidewalk. She says this is one way businesses in the city can tell officials how construction projects are impacting them. The town hall will be at the Athens Community Center tomorrow night starting at 5:30 p.m.
President Donald Trump is hosting Republican congressional leaders today in the White House to plan out the nation's future. Yesterday, Trump signed dozens of executive orders into law, including a withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement and the World Health Organization, along with a TikTok extension and aggressive immigration policies. Experts say this is likely to prompt a massive immigration crackdown.
ICE they're out there enforcing law out today, and of course, as I've said numerous times, they're concentrating on public safety threats. That'll be our priority right out of the gate.
While Trump and some of his leaders plan policy implementation, Congress is swearing in the presidential cabinet. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was the first to make the oath this morning. Today starts President Donald Trump's first day full day in office. Even though he technically started yesterday afternoon, he has already gotten a head start. Amy Kiley reports that he already signed dozens of executive orders and pardoned hundreds of people.
Does Biden ever do news conferences like this?
President Donald Trump is wasting no time reshaping the country, taking dozens of actions yesterday.
We're going to release our great hostages that didn't do, for the most part, they didn't do stuff wrong.
Nearly all cases related to the January 6th Capitol riot are over. That's after Trump pardoned more than 1,200 people convicted of related crimes. He's also directing the Justice Department to drop about 300 pending cases. And he's freeing 14 defendants charged with the most serious sedition offenses.
It tries to whitewash what was clearly an insurrection. People died from that. Property was destroyed. People were injured.
Also sending out shockwaves today are Trump's first executive orders.
I'll revoke nearly 80 destructive and radical executive actions of the previous administration.
He's declaring a national emergency at the southern border and effectively shutting down asylum seeking there. He's trying to delay a TikTok ban, and limit the constitutional right to citizenship at birth. Trump also is removing the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement and the World Health Organization.
He walked in the White House and he did exactly what he said he was going to do.
His first actions as president haven't done what he promised voters he would do. Hasn't made people's lives easier.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
President Donald Trump says he, quote, might help rebuild Gaza, but he is, quote, not confident the Gaza ceasefire deal will hold. Despite claiming credit for brokering the agreement between Israel and Hamas, that's what Trump told a reporter in the Oval Office early yesterday.
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident, but I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Both the Trump and Biden administrations cooperated on the Israel and Hamas ceasefire agreement. After it was announced, both Trump and Biden took credit. When asked about what he wanted the government in Gaza to look like going forward, Trump indicated that Hamas should not be a part of any future governance. Vivek Ramaswamy is taking a step back from position at the Department of Government Efficiency Task Force as he launches his bid to run for Ohio's next governor. The DOGE is now down to one leader, leaving billionaire Elon Musk to run the operation. Ramaswamy had shown interest in Vice President J.D. Vance's recently vacated Senate seat before DeWine chose Lieutenant Governor John Husted as Vance's successor. Ramaswamy made a fortune in biotech before turning his attention to politics. He rose to prominence on the right as a critic of identity politics and programs that advance diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Coming up, the South gets hit with severe winter weather. What you need to know.
And a recap on the team that takes home the National College Football Championship.
We'll have some severe weather tonight, but into tomorrow, it'll be starting to warm up next on Newswatch.
Once-in-a-generation winter storm is sweeping across the southeastern United States.
Roughly 40 million people from Texas to the Carolinas are under winter weather alerts as a rare winter storm brings bone-chilling temperatures and potentially historic snowfall. Leigh Waldman reports officials are telling residents to stay inside and off the roads.
Snow blanketing places from Lake Charles, Louisiana to Houston, Texas. For the first time ever, the National Weather Service issuing a blizzard warning along the Gulf Coast because of heavy snow and strong wind gusts.
For the last day or two, a lot of people have asked me, is this really happening? Louisiana, this is definitely happening.
Wind chills Tuesday morning dropped into the teens for much of the Gulf Coast with single-digit values in northern Texas. Officials warning people to heat their homes in safe ways.
Do not use your gas or electric stoves or ovens to heat your home. A gas oven can lead to carbon monoxide poisoning. Electric ovens are not designed to heat your home.
The system is a generational winter storm event, the National Weather Service said Monday, and urged those along its path to take it seriously.
Most folks really should prepare to batten down the hatches for the next few days and to plan to stay put, stay off the road, stay put. You know, as the mayor said, this is one of those things that the weather experts are telling us is unprecedented for Houston.
More than 2,300 flights have been canceled into or out of the U.S. early Tuesday, most of those coming from Texas and Louisiana, according to flight tracking website FlightAware. Schools across the Deep South were closed or moved online Tuesday, from Texas to Florida. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
They're seeing a lot of snow in that southeast, but fortunately here we are out of the clear from that snow. Might have seen a few flurries here and there, but other than that, we are just under that severe cold. Looking into tonight, we'll be at that -8 feels like overnight low. Mostly clear skies. We're having that high pressure move in, giving us any kind of break from some snow, but we'll be frigid cold. Once we're looking at 7 p.m. tonight, we'll be under this cold weather warning. That goes from 7 p.m. until tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. A lot of schools are already canceling. Athens City School District is closed for tomorrow. We're having a lot of schools closing, and if you do have to be outside from that 7 p.m. tonight until 10 a.m. tomorrow, make sure that you are bundling up, because we're going to be seeing temperatures as low as -10 feels like out there. So from where are we getting this cold weather from? We're having this polar jet moving its way through from Canada that is pretty much giving all of the United States a little bit of cooler temperatures, extremely unaverage temperatures for a lot of the United States. But we're currently in Athens. We're having this high pressure system moving into our area for tomorrow, not giving us any snow. That blue that we are seeing in parts of West Virginia, that is just going to be on that higher elevation. It's going to see some snowy mountaintops. But other than that, we are in the clear from any kind of snow or rain in our area. Just going to be that frigid cold outside. Once we hit 24 hours ahead, that high pressure moves its way off to the east, and we're going to be seeing this warm front finally making its way in. So once we get past tomorrow, that high of 19 and that low of 8, which really feels closer to that -8 mark, we're going to be starting to warm up. Once we hit 48 hours ahead, that warm front moving its way fully in, might see some more cloud cover moving in once we hit into this weekend. We're going to be seeing that after these next couple of days, we're going to have those temperatures can warm up significantly, and once we hit next week, we'll be into temperatures well above that freezing level. Once we get past these next few days, we'll be warming up significantly and finally be able to be out of those below single-digit temperatures. We'll be seeing on that full forecast, that 7-day forecast tomorrow, that high of 19, Thursday, that high of 30, Friday cooling down once again with that 28, and then once we hit Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, well above that freezing level, almost into those 40s for our Sunday. And those temperature lows once we hit Saturday are going to be above that 20-degree mark. Other than Monday, we're not going to be seeing any snow in our future forecast, just some clouds out there. So once we get past these next couple of days of that frigid cold, we're going to be warming up and feeling a lot more seasonal here in Athens. Let's take it back over to Sully.
Thanks, Isabel. Ohio State took home the college football playoff championship game last night after defeating Notre Dame. Ohio State is the last team standing after its 34-23 win over Notre Dame in the college football playoff national championship game in Atlanta Monday night. Ohio State head coach Ryan Day talks about his team's historic win.
Things that have been said throughout the year. These guys are going to be cemented as one of the best stories in Ohio State history and one of the best football teams ever. Only 9 teams have ever done it, and 3 in the over 50 years.
Ohio State head coach Ryan Day faced heavy criticism from Ohio State fans after their loss to Michigan in the regular season, but with this huge win, all has been forgiven for Ryan Day as he now joins an elite group of Ohio State head coaches who have won a national championship.
College football season may be done, but college basketball season is in full swing. When we come back, we'll preview Ohio men's basketball's road game tonight at Eastern Michigan.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
There are thousands of discoveries. Wow.
This is huge. We are making history.
This is really exciting.
3 big cats have stalked the face of Africa, doing their best to keep out of each other's way.
The word UFO has become a taboo word. As scientists, we also want to get to the bottom of this.
Wednesday on WOUB.
Deep below Parliament, Guy Fawkes prepares to light the fuse, determined to destroy the king and his government. I want to investigate what led these men to attempt wiping out the seat of power.
It is urgent and they have to be the ones who will do it.
The gunpowder plot happened at a time of deep divisions and high stakes.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
You couldn't dream of a better start to 2025 for the Ohio Bobcats. After a disappointing non-conference stretch, Ohio got out to a 4-0 start in MAC play. Now, after a loss suffered Friday night at Akron, the Bobcats have an opportunity to get back on track tonight at Eastern Michigan. There truly is no place like home for Ohio. It's 7-0 in Athens this season, but are a poor 2-5 on the road in 2024-2025. This bucket in transition against Akron, kind of told the story of the 92-80 loss Friday. Bobcats going to be shorthanded tonight. Aiden Hadaway, you see right there, has sprained his ankle against Akron. For Coach Jeff Bowles, though, it's going to be about how the team responds after a losing effort.
Never good to lose, but you learn something about yourself, obviously, how we respond. And I thought we came out in the second half, like I said, and competed like we should have in the first half. But your goal is not to go undefeated in the MAC. You're eventually going to lose. It's really how you lose, and the first half wasn't acceptable.
Now, on a year-to-year basis, you could typically expect some combination of Akron, Kent State, Toledo, and those Ohio Bobcats to be competing for first in the MAC. But how about those Miami Redhawks you saw sitting atop those standings? Bobcats still firmly in the mix, looking to keep up with the rest of the pack. High school basketball season ramping up too. And we may have had the biggest game in the TVC Hawking yet yesterday down in Racine between two teams not used to being in contention. Belpre and Southern both undefeated in conference play. Winner takes sole control of the Hawking. Andrew Chandler with the pull-up J. You don't really see that shot anymore. Malik Curry now for Belpre. Last name Curry, that step back looks a little bit more like James Harden, though. What a shot from beyond the arc. Fast forward to the fourth, to the dish in the corner. Jake Wickline hits it. Couldn't really see him in the quarter, but I guess neither did Belpre with how open he was. To seal the game late, Chandler again with the steal in transition and the layup. 21-point game from him. Southern wins it at home to stay undefeated in the conference. That game caused some movement at the top. The Tornadoes are really solely in control of the top now, while Belpre, they've got some work to do. That rematch is set for February 7th at Belpre High School. Those pesky Eastern Eagles are lurking as well. They have a game against each team before the season ends. On the girls' side, we had a showdown between two of the best teams in the area. The Hawking second-place Federal Hawking Lancers traveled to Athens, who sit atop the TVC Ohio. Not often you get a non-conference game like this one. Lex Copel, she misses her shot, gets the own rebound, puts it back up with the and one. Go ahead and count it. With that height, I'm not sure if anyone's out rebounding her. Quinn Banks from the corner for the Bulldogs, spun it in, nice touch. Jaylee Orsborn, cookies, reads the passing lane, takes it down the floor, puts it in. Lancers starting to wake up late. When you need a bucket late, who else but Brenley Cottrell? The and one. Now to put Athens away, Cottrell again for three and in. She finishes with 27 points. Lancers get the road win by double digits. There's plenty more TVC basketball action tonight and all week long. Make sure to tune in to Hardwood Heroes Sunday night at 11:30 on WOUB. Let's go ahead and send it back to you.
Still ahead, we're going to be seeing those temperatures dip even lower into tonight next on Newswatch.
A stunning political comeback.
Donald Trump's return to power.
Look what happened. Is this crazy?
In the scope of American history, it's almost unbelievable.
Overcoming opposition.
His second presidential campaign was a revenge tour.
And obstacles.
Trump cannot see himself through the prism of loser.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
You can turn things around at any time.
You are more than prepared, okay? We have it in the tank.
NFTs have expanded the scope of what I'm able to do.
Something I've been trying to sell for years, sold out in 3 days. It's like mind-blowing to me.
When I play basketball, I feel like there's nothing that could stop me.
You don't see that many people that are Asian ranked on ESPN, and I wanted to show people that I could do that.
I saw myself spiraling downhill with my health.
He went from an insane amount of pills, and now he's doing 150 miles a week at almost 70 years old.
California now possesses a state-of-the-art prison.
We were placed in solitary confinement for decades.
Let's do a nonviolent act. Let's do a hunger strike.
It's not 100%, but I'm not going to quit.
If the worst thing happens, we'll still be a team.
It is true, we are weak and defenseless, but resistance is the only reply.
Life in the ghetto was a chain of resistance.
It required unbelievable courage.
So this is the story that gives you power to live.
Jews did not go to their death as sheep to the slaughter. They fought back.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
Doctor, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Sullivan Beach. Have a great night.
Support comes from Visit Athens County. More information can be found at AthensOhio.com. Athens, it's more than a place. Support comes from Vinton County National Bank. Whether it's making room for baby, that dream car, or saving for the future, they can lend a hand. Information for local branches at vcnbfamily.bank.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Bennett.
And I'm Amna Nawaz. On the NewsHour tonight, with his return to the White House, President Donald Trump moves full steam ahead on his promised overhaul of U.S. policies.
That includes an immigration crackdown. We delve into the policies that led to this moment and how the Trump administration is setting the groundwork for mass deportations.
The more you push the agency and say, increase the total, that pushes you towards the lowest hanging fruit of the immigration system, which are not the hardened criminals.